So who are you and what's your profession?
So I'm Michael Owen. I work at Gallagher and I head up the sport team within our specialty division.
What do Gallagher do?
So Gallagher are the third largest broker in the world. We specialise in all aspects of insurance, but primarily my focus is on the sports and injury side of things for professional athletes.
And what actually is a broker?
So a broker, our role is to go out and basically source the business. So we go and see people like yourself, we go and see financial advisors, clubs, agents. We source the business and then we take it to the insurance market. The insurers then obviously rate it, and then we have a negotiation. We broker the deal with the insurers to get the best deal for the client. So the client is actually the player, for example. That's our client. And then the insurer, we're the middleman.
So what type of insurance does your company deal with?
Every class of insurance. So from property to marine, private client stuff, bloodstock, people. That's what we do in our division. We look after people. So the asset being a player. So we can come from two angles, where a club can buy a policy for the player or the individual buys a policy to protect his career.
And what is, in your eyes, the most important type of insurance for a young footballer?
I think it has to be the career-ending insurance. It's as simple as that, because it's such a short career, football. It can span 15 years. So if anything were to happen, and the worst thing to happen at for an 18-year-old, he needs to make sure that he's got his career protected for the next 15 years. It's so important at a young age to make sure you're covered. And then we always try and educate the player that by the time they get to 30, 31, 32, they can start reducing their insurance down, because that career is now coming to an end and you should have built up a nice nest egg to live your life as you would like to. Obviously, if your career was over at 18, you haven't built that up and your lifestyle will simply crumble.
Is career-ending insurance affordable for everyone, even if you're a young professional just on £500 a week?
Yeah, I think it's important that they have something. We educate our young players. It doesn't matter, what your earnings are. If you've got a professional contract, you've got something there that you need to protect. Because ultimately, that contract, the better you do, will start to increase. So even if you're spending £500 a year, we can still get you a significant limit for £500. And then once your earnings increase because you're doing better on the pitch, then your insurance increases and so forth.
And if you haven't had the opportunity to earn more because you've had injury that takes you out of the game from a young age, what kind of, I suppose, money can that give you if you've just been spending just a little bit on career-ending insurance?
Listen, for £500 you can probably get 100,000 of cover for an 18-year-old, which is quite a significant amount. Once they start to increase their earnings up to sort of like 1,000, then look to double it to 200,000. So we have players on those levels, obviously all the way to, the elite players playing top level in the Premier League.
And what's the biggest myth or misconception about insurance for players?
Insurers not paying out. I mean, that's the biggest problem, because we've heard that before. There's no point in buying insurance because I'll never get paid out. But I think the most important thing is you have all your documentation in order. It's very critical that insurers get to see your medical details and your medical information. Don't miss any deadlines. Make sure the paperwork is all slick, and then you're 100% covered. And as I say, I've done this 33 years and we've never not paid a claim out. We've got a 100% claims record because we're very slick with our paperwork.
Give me an example of where not having insurance has had catastrophic effects for a young player.
Yeah, I mean, without naming any names, we had an awful incident 5-6 years ago when a player on the continent was playing in a pre-season game and collapsed on the pitch. He got airlifted off the pitch and never returned to professional football. He ended up in a wheelchair, and that's his career finished. He was 18 years old. And unfortunately, we were stuck in the middle of that, and it's heartbreaking because he would have been the next superstar to come out of the continent, and career's over. He collapsed on the pitch and career was over, just like that. So it was shocking. And unfortunately, we have to see, the sob stories, the horror stories, as well as the, the ones that we don't want to be contacted. You know, we'd like to see players at 18 have insurance throughout their career and never call us, you know, but we're there in, you know, I guess in every eventuality. If the worst was to happen, pick up the phone and we're there to actually pay out the claim.
How does the family know that they've got the right type of insurance?
It's probably education. I mean, what we found in the past is that, like, if you have one Croatian within the team, you get all the Croatians. If you have one Spaniard, if you have one Brazilian, they all talk to each other because the dressing room is key. If you get your name in the dressing room as a broker and you say, oh, Gallagher, they're a good insurer, they paid out so-and-so, or they done me a good deal on so-and-so, generally it's trust. And once you've got that trust within the dressing room, we then like to obviously meet the parents, or we'll meet the agent or the financial advisor, and they will know us because of, you know, our history and how many players we currently got on our books. So I think it's something that you want to be in for the long term. I don't recommend like dipping in and out of different brokers every year or every 2 years. I think consistency is key, loyalty is key, and then that broker will do you a good deal for hopefully the duration of your son's career. So yeah, we've got some really good relationships with clubs and with players now, and players talk. So, you know.
So car insurance seems to be a hot topic for young footballers.
Yeah.
Tell me about why car insurance is really important.
Yeah, car insurance has been really difficult for under 21s over the last couple of years. There's very few markets that want to take on these under 21s, just purely because of the performance of the car. You know, car theft has been huge in the UK market for a couple of years now, and the money that's actually within the professional game sees players driving some, you know, high-level cars, 25, 30,000 pound cars at a very young age, and they haven't got the experience to be able to handle these cars. The last thing that, you know, insurers would want to see is an 18, 19-year-old driving around in a Range Rover, because it'd be pretty much impossible to get the insurance for that car. So once you're over 21, you've built up some years of experience of driving, and then you can start to look for insurance at 22, 23 for these higher performance cars. But at the younger age, it's very difficult. One of the pitfalls that we say all the time is that the players have to be clear about what their occupation is on the forms. So if you actually say that you're a PE teacher instead of a professional football player, you've obviously lied on the form. There's non-disclosure, and it will be null and void if you were to have a crash and then you expect the insurance to pay. They wouldn't pay out. So it's clear. We had one example where a boy was quoted 16,000 for his insurance for his car, but then he managed to get it down to 4,000 by saying he was a PE teacher, when clearly he wasn't a PE teacher. So that was, you know, that was an error from his side. And they're the things that, like, you know, that they shouldn't be doing.
Is it easy for a young person to get insurance, even if they're just driving a regular car?
It's expensive. It's really expensive. I mean, my daughter, she just drives an Audi A1, and she probably pays £2,000 for that. So it's not cheap, you know, to get insurance at a young age. You have these black boxes that you can have put in the car, which actually monitors how you drive over the course of the year. That will help to bring your insurance down. Having an immobiliser on the car, or having a tracker on the car, making sure it's alarmed, leaving it on the drive, or putting it in a garage if you have one. All little things like that help to reduce, you know, the premium levels that these youngsters have to pay nowadays.
You mentioned other type of insurances that are helpful for young players. One of them is well-being insurance. What is that?
So we give a mental health benefit within our policy wording. Compared to our competitors, we stand alone, because you can actually pause your career, go and have some mental health treatment, and then continue your career thereafter. We have our competitors that obviously offer a mental health benefit, but only once their career is over. That's where we stand alone, and we're market leading within this space. So we can help the player with his mental health issues, and we've got a 24/7 call line that they can ring at any point, just have a chat, just to sort of help them along the way.
What is a premium?
So a premium is the amount of money you pay every year towards your insurance policy.
Which is the most important insurance that a young player should have?
Career-ending insurance.
What's the most underinsured personal item that a player has?
Their body. Absolutely.
Is insurance affordable for all players?
God. It should be. It should be. You can buy a much smaller limit, and then obviously once you earn more, increase it from there.
Name one surprising fact about you.
I've scored a goal against a Premier League goalkeeper. It was a banger as well, 30-yarder. But yeah, I scored against Stefan Posma on a Lloyd's Football Club Vets tour about 5 years ago.
5 years ago, well done.
I have
You
scored a
still got
goal.
it.
I have scored a goal against a Premier League goalkeeper. That's one surprising
You still
fact.
got it, Mickey.
Well,
Well
I know
done.
I'm old man now. But...
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.